Also tomorrow, protesters are expected to rally in hundreds of cities against President Trump's policies.
The planned demonstrations follow several days of nationwide protests against federal immigration raids, including here in Los Angeles. We're joined now by Hunter Dunn, who's part of the group that organized these protests here in Southern California. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Can we start with the name of the protest? I had a lot of people asking me, why is this called No Kings?
Yeah, so No Kings is the name of the No Kings National Day of Defiance, which is a day of national action ran by a coalition of nearly 200 groups nationwide, including my group, 5051.
Yeah.
It means that we have no kings in America because Donald Trump is currently parodying past authoritarian leaders like, for example, King George III.
Okay, we've seen protests, of course, in the past few days. It's what we've been following here in Los Angeles and across the country over the ICE raids and demonstrations. Is this protest, though, bigger than the ICE raids?
Well, because of what's happening in our community here in Los Angeles and in communities across the country, which is the president sending troops and sending ICE into our cities, almost as a Gestapo taking hostages in many cases without warrants, arresting political leaders like David Huerta and Senator Padilla. Yes, the ICE raids are very important to this protest. One of our main demands is getting ICE out of LA and getting ICE and the National Guard out of cities across the country.
You know, I've seen so many communities here in Los Angeles are going to be doing their own parades. The biggest one is looking to be downtown Los Angeles, where we have seen these other demonstrations. And while most of the demonstrations downtown have been relatively peaceful, we have had these bad actors who have gone in, they've done looting, damaged property. How are you working to ensure people are safe this weekend?
Yes, so we're an entirely nonviolent movement. We condemn violence in all forms, especially the violence that the federal government's enacting on journalists and in our case, on our medics. Almost everyone on my team has been harmed one way or another, whether it's by tear gas in my case or rubber bullets, while distributing food, water, or medical support to people on the ground. Again, we're an entirely nonviolent movement, so everything that we're doing here in downtown Los Angeles is from that perspective. We're working with groups like the NAACP, CHRLA, SEIU to make sure that everything remains as peaceful as possible. But of course, a lot of that is down to how local law enforcement reacts to us, which is something we can't control.
Have you talked to law enforcement?
Not directly, no. However, we have spoken to elected officials, and we are doing everything we can to protect people, whether it's from outside agitators, like, for example, the Proud Boys, or law enforcement, which again have literally shot directly at journalists and our own medical team with rubber bullets.
Well, hopefully on both sides things stay peaceful. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us to tell us more about the message. And I know there's 2,000 protests planned across the country and some in other parts of the world. So thank you for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
You too.